he couldn't speak. So, I mean, it was not good.
So, as far as tomorrow goes, you want people to show up.
Sure.
You want people to wear red, preferably.
Sure.
It would look really great if, everybody, when the TV cameras come, if they pan, it kind of, without even speaking, you're speaking. And you're signing a couple people up before you leave.
Yes.
So, as I sucked Eddie in, Michelle came to me 2 years ago, and not only did I suck her in, but now she's running for city commissioner. So really, it's not all there. But I love her to death, and she's really, because you know what you need? You need people that are articulate, that work hard, that are determined, that really are looking out. She's not doing this for herself. There's nothing to gain for Michelle. She goes to the shelters, she works her butt off. She has no personal vested interest in this. I mean, she has a personal vested interest in it being successful, but it's not any financial gain for her. This is because she's passionate about this, is something she believes in. That's the type of stuff that you get, and that's what you really want to see.
One more quick thing about that, and then I'll sit down. The other thing is that when we pass the second reading, I'm sending it to the Associated Press. And what's been happening is MSNBC and some major national news organizations will pick it up. And this will put Houndlow Beach on the map.
For a good thing.
For a good thing. It's very tiring over the last 40 years to go somewhere on vacation and they say, where are you from? And I say, Houndlow Beach. And they go, where's that? And I go, between Hollywood and Aventura. Oh, okay. So, it would be nice for somebody to read about Hallandale Beach as being a trailblazer. We'll be the 17th city in the United States to pass something that was really, really compassionate and progressive. So that was the other reason that we fought so hard for.
Gina first. Go ahead,
Do you
Gina.
know where the other commissioners stand on this issue?
You're going to say something?
You're going to have to ask them.
Well,
They voted yes. They voted yes.
Was there actually a vote?
Yeah.
Well, the mayor gave everybody else.
Well, there really was no actual recorded vote. You watched the video.
Right, that's what
The
I
mayor, because I didn't even know she was calling. I called the question. I would vote. Commissioner London, what are you doing? And that's why I'm like, what are we? Shit, Clark, can you please tell me where we're actually voting on? But officially, it's coming up for second reading tomorrow. There is the as approved first reading, and then there's some added language on an alternative one that the mayor suggested, what Michelle does not want to see passed, which was basically things that are redundant and make no sense. If they open up a store, she wanted a sign that says, think adoption first. So if you open up a retail store and you're selling puppies, do you think they're going to put a sign that says, think adoption first? The other one, which is really defeating the whole purpose of all this, which is a 24-hour hold. We're not buying guns. We're
Cool off period.
Yeah,
That's what she said.
we're trying to adopt a living animal that needs a home. So if anybody's ever seen like these Greyhound rescue organizations or PetSmart or Petco or any of these places where they come out and they have all these dogs there and they're like, will you adopt? Are you a qualified person? We're going to waive the fee of $75. We're only going to charge you $25 today. It's to get these dogs out of the shelter, because the truth of the matter is every day they're putting animals down. And a dog has basically like a 72-hour shelf life in a shelter. And after 72 hours, they got to empty that crate, because if they don't empty that crate,
Somebody else is coming.
somebody else is coming. So the impetus is to clean them up, make sure they have a personality trait where they're sociable, and get them out. Because tomorrow there's new ones coming in.
So not only that, but if she were to pass this cooling off period, the Humane Society keeps their cats at Petco. If you adopt a cat at Petco, you leave with that cat. According to this ordinance change, you wouldn't be able to. They'd have to hold that cat for 24 hours. I can tell you right now, I spoke to the investigator for the Humane Society that was there last week, is coming tomorrow, said they probably won't even keep their cats there anymore. Because she throws out arbitrary language, and instead of it just dying on where it is, it got researched. It was researched, and I'm not sure why. Actually, the think adoption first would go into a location that was already adopting animals out.
Now, Holly dogs, if you want to adopt a gray,
That's Hollywood.
they come into your house to make sure your house is large enough, if you're fenced in,
Right.
and they interview the people.
Right. This ordinance would
Serious.
restrict sales. You would only be able to sell a dog here We call it a sale. It's really not a sale. In other words, if I have a place where I rescue animals and you want to get an animal from me, I charge you a fee of, say, $200. That's considered a sale. But I've taken that dog off the street. I've taken it out of the shelter. There's only certain places you would be able to actually transfer the sale of an animal. You would not be able to ship your dogs in from another state, from Missouri, from Virginia, from outside sources. You would have to show a certificate of source that came from one of 4 places: a shelter, rescue, a legitimate breeder where you could see the on-site breeding, or a shop that would sell rescue dogs. Those are the only 4 places. And if they don't have those certificates, they can't sell here, period. 4 square miles, 38,000 people. I really don't think this is going to be an issue. I just don't see it as an issue. It's really a non-issue in Allendale.
Well, that goes, Gina, it goes back to what you said, because legitimate breeders, there was somebody that actually stood up and said, when we breed our dogs, we actually know what the litter's going prior to, especially if you have a 5 or 8 week, I guess it's 8 weeks. Until, right, so they,
before they're even born.
right, so
But
somebody,
the issue is, if you're going to get papers, one gentleman said that they should have papers at the meeting, that you can get papers from Alabama. Papers are so easy to forge.
Papers
Very
come
easy.
from puppy mills. I
Right.
have an AKC paper that came from a USDA. Listen,
Right.
USDA means nothing. They have 70 investigators for 5,000 puppy mills.
Yep.
And they also investigate laboratories and circuses and all these other areas of investigation. They are certainly not worried about what is going on in these mills. And AKC comes with anything, USDA comes with anything. It means nothing. And the bottom line is that, this is not an ordinance that is going to affect anybody here. There's nobody running to Hallandale to open a pet store. I mean, I just don't see that as an issue. She should have been in support of it. It was extremely disappointing. Not only that, but she had to vote for it anyway, and now she just looks like a bad guy.
so at the end of the day, if you're available tomorrow, 6:30-ish, we do our 2-hour photo opportunity first, which will probably get extended out a little bit, but hopefully there'll be some reasonable amount of time and you can wear a red shirt. And if you'd like to support this, this is a good issue. I've supported it since day one. Good, Gina.
Here's one last question. We looked on the channel, what was it, 78, and we couldn't find the meeting.
Michelle,
Did they ever show the meeting?
is
It's
it,
on the county. It's on the website.
go to the
It's on the
website,
city
because you
website.
can put it up on demand.
Only on demand. It used to be right on
It's on
Comcast.
Comcast when you're home. It's live.
Oh, it's live?
on Comcast. You were in the meeting, so you weren't going to be able to see it. 'Cause you
Yeah,
were-
no, we repeat it.
Yeah, but
but-
it repeats and it hasn't been on.
Yeah, we've had so many meetings lately, I don't know whether or not. But my recommendation, you could web stream it.
Okay. It's on 78. All right.
Yeah, but she's asking about this specific meeting.
Oh, all right. I don't know.
It's there.
No, it's on the web. Gerald, introduce yourself real quick. You're the last guy in.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Gerald Dean. I'm the president for the Palms Community Coalition, different from the Palms Community Action Coalition. That's the other guys. Want to make sure that's clear because they stole our name because we were being effective in forcing the city to make some maneuvers. In our community, we have the building coming up, and I'm working with the county so we can have a micro library, so all the cultures in Hallandale can come into our community, and for your respective holiday or whatever occasion, bring your history so we can learn. So we're trying to bridge the gap between east, west, north, and south of Hallandale.
Tell everybody which building you're talking about.
Forster Park building. They had the money sitting around for years, rolling it over, playing ball with it until we forced them to stop and spend the $1.6 million to build Forster Park.
No, it's not 6 million. I think we.
1.6.
Oh, 1 point. Okay.
Yeah,
That's just the building. We haven't run a program.
just the building.
No programs yet. No.
And I'm working with the county. As a matter of fact, I called my rep for this area at the county level to see what help we can get from the county in order to integrate with the library system. You have to meet certain standards. So, and I'm trying to find out from the city, what do we have left for the building? That's a hard question with this transition, city manager and the rest of the folks. So.
Okay. So everybody understand what Gerald's talking about? The building on Foster Road. We have a new building going up, and he's trying to bring a micro library. It's a worthy cause. I wish you luck. If you
What
need
else
to
is
call
going to be there?
Barbara Sharif.
Well, it's like it's a community center.
Oh, okay.
They have 2,000 square foot room for general purposes, and then we have the library, and we have like conference rooms of this type of meetings over there. So, and then what we're trying to do, we're trying to separate the teenagers from the younger kids, because that's the problem when they congregate. So this new building, with the programming, so far it's looking to be like for those kids from middle school and younger, and the O.B. Johnson gym will be like for the teenagers with the new recording studio.
Right, teen center. All right, Tim, you're up. Must have come for a reason.
Yeah, well,
Again, thanks for coming, and most of you heard me say this. I've been doing this for over 4 years. I always get a new body, so you're the new body today, so thank you for coming. You've kept the streak alive.
well, I am with the Palm Community Action Coalition, and but as a young man growing up in Hallandale, my parents taught me to investigate for yourself, get information for yourself, and make your own mind up. Use common sense. We were at a meeting in the Northwest community. We were talking about O.B. Johnson Park. And I grew up there. There were plenty times that my mom would send me, but allow me, and my sister would play on the softball team there. And I could go into the gymnasium and I would play inside there. And when we finished, we would come home. But I've noticed that there aren't the type of programs there that I found when I was coming along that encourage our children to do something other than what they're doing now. And I've spoken with a couple of the administrators over there, and I just want to get involved, do something constructive for the community. I don't have no axe to grind. I'm not running for a political office. I just want to see something positive done in our community.
Well, first of all, is Tim welcome here? First of all, glad that you come, and I certainly respect the fact that you want to hear it out of the proverbial horse's mouth. So if you got a question or you got something that maybe was said to you that you want verification, or you want to know why it was said or what wasn't said?
No, it really wasn't. It was just that when we were at that meeting, we were asking questions, and the people who were giving the answers were giving a roundabout responses to specific questions. And I didn't like that. And you gave me a flyer and said to come over to your meeting.
Oh, at the Heckman Center?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here, and anybody in this room will confirm this. I might not tell you the answer you want to hear, but I'll probably tell you what you need to hear. I'm not a big fan of changing my answer depending on who the audience is, because I'm really not that smart, and I can't keep track of different stories.
Yeah.
So I try and tell everybody the same answers, because I just can't keep track of like 5 different answers. So you were at that meeting, and I call those meetings the dog and pony show, because you really don't get specific answers. They have really beat around the bush, and they don't provide any documentation. I always bring papers with me, always. There's articles that were in the paper today. So there was stuff that came out. I was this was up front. Well, on that note, on Tim's note, I'll do this one.